Hi everyone, it's Evangeline here at eTrailer, and today I have the Saris MHS 2-bike platform rack, and we'll take a look at how it fits our 2022 Winnebago Forza Motorhome. So the MHS is going to be great if you need to carry around extra heavy electric bikes, but also bikes of different shapes and sizes. Plus you want something that's easy to use. A lot of the RV rated bike racks have a lot of different levers and handles and straps that you have to deal with. This one makes it a lot more simple, but still has that RV capacity. Now, focusing here on the bike rack though, let's talk about what types of bikes this can carry. I currently have a mountain bike here, and we have two wheel mounts, so the front and the rear wheel is secured, but we also have a strap securing our rear tire. This is going to be a ratcheting strap, so when we press this lever, this disengages the strap so we can lift this up and then take it off. I like to push the entire system over to the side so that our strap doesn't get caught up in our spokes and it's easier to take off. Now, before we take everything off though, let's talk about for mountain bikes. When you have longer handlebars, you may be concerned about contact with your motorhome. This one, if I push it enough, it just barely touches the motorhome. So what I would do then is I would put maybe a pool noodle on the end, or if I had a road bike, I wouldn't be as concerned. I'd put the mountain bike towards the back, the road bike towards the motorhome. So just things like that are worth considering. I have 29-inch long cross handlebars, by the way. We're going to take the bike off now. So there is this front wheel mount, and then you have a lever. That lever is different from other wheel mounts. It takes a little bit of force to engage, and you have to be careful as you hold it, because once it secures, you want to make sure you don't pinch the meat of your hand. So that's engaged now, so we're able to push the wheel mount out. It drops all the way to the ground, and that makes it easier for those heavy bikes. This does have a weight capacity of 80 pounds per bike. So if you have a heavy electric bike, rather than having to lift it up and over the rack, you can just almost ramp it down and have less to support. So let's talk about that tray. Notice the little grooves on the inside as well as that chalk up front. That wheel chalk is to help secure that front tire, but also for different tire widths, it gives that grip. Bringing your wheel mount up, you also have an adjustable wheel mount. When you turn this lever and take out the pin, this can go up and down. So whether you have 29ers or maybe your smaller tires, you can find the best fit for you. Your bikes are secured with a cable lock on each tray, so that way you don't have to carry around your own cable locks, and you can just keep the keys together and have it all match. Let's put this away so it's all nice and neat. And let's talk about some measurements for the motorhome. So this will add a little bit of length to the back of your motorhome. Fortunately, your hitch already sits a good distance out, so I'm not worried about any clearance issues with the bumper. So from the bumper of the motorhome to the end of the rack, that is at 37 inches. So pretty compact. I mean, you already have a larger vehicle, so what's another extra 3 feet? But what I am slightly concerned about is the ground clearance. So from the end of the rack to the ground, that's 15 inches where that handle is, and from the trays to the ground, that's going to be 21 inches. So 21 inches is how high you'll have to lift your bikes up to get onto the rack. That ground clearance is something you have to be concerned about if you have steep inclines like driveways or hills, because when your front goes up, the back goes down, and you want to make sure you're not bottoming out. This rack also tilts away, not as useful for this specific motorhome because we don't have a basement we need to get access into or a ladder, but you just pull that lever and this tilts down in case you ever need to use it when you have it on your own vehicle. But what we are going to use it for is to make it more compact and neat. So pull the lever, lift up, 2 options here. You have your angled position or your straight up position. This is going to be compatible with the motorhome, and measuring from the bumper to the end of the rack, that's now going to be 14 inches of length added to the back of your Forza. So definitely takes up less space compared to when it was folded down. Most people have it in this position when they're not planning on taking their bikes out just yet. Maybe they're parked at the campsite, they have their bikes in their own special area, and they don't need their rack, but they also don't want to take it off. This is a great way to store it. This locks to your hitch receiver, has an anti-rattle bolt, which keeps it nice and secure, and this can match the cable locks for your bikes too. That way, with one key, you can access both your bikes and your bike rack and keep your investment secure. So all in all, when it comes to carrying around heavier bikes, as well as the bikes of different shapes and sizes with your Forza motorhome, fortunately, because of where the hitch is, you do have a good amount of option, while you're still limited to making sure you have an RV rated bike rack for that extra stability. This is still going to be a really good option for you. Now, if for any reason maybe you want something different, I would recommend something like the Yakima on-ramp, because that one has a ramp included and allows you to ramp those heavy electric bikes up. The downside to the on-ramp is the ground clearance doesn't really necessitate it, plus it doesn't have as great of a weight capacity as this bike rack, so definitely a solid choice and a solid pairing. This was a look at the Saris MHS 2-bike platform rack, and you saw it on the 2022 Winnebago Forza.